morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Welcome sa Bangon Marawi Press Briefing. Today we have PIA Director General Harold Clavite. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Ricky. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Maayong buntag, MPC. The Office of Mayor Mahul Gandamra and the City Government of Marawi has been leading and facilitating a series of activities that helped our affected communities and brought them back to their respective barangays. On October 29th, the City Government of Marawi facilitated the first Kambalingan, or homecoming. And it's going to be a continuous set of activities. In the next couple of days, another set of homecoming will be facilitated by the City Government of Marawi and all stakeholders on the ground. Before we start today's press briefing, I'd like to give you a brief video on Kambalingan.
Pasalamat kami sa Panginoon dahil pinabalik kami. Mayroon kaming tanan, ginapi.
Self-sufficient, self-motivated, and to have initiative as we all try to rebuild our lives. The will to change, the will to rebuild, the will to survive should and will ultimately come from us, citizens of Marawi City and Land of Sur.
Sa may gabal, bangon, bangon, bangon Marawi, bangon, bangon, bangon Marawi.
Maraming salamat, and we have new updates for you today. We have AFP spokesperson Major General Restituto Padilla Jr. and spokesperson of Task Force Bangon Marawi, Assistant Secretary Christopher James Purisima. Ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps, let us all give a warm welcome to Major General Padilla and ASEC Toby Purisima.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Good morning, all kababayans monitoring this Mindanao Hour. For our updates for today, I'd like to first start off with the security situation in Mindanao, the implementation of martial law, and our ongoing focused military operations in various parts of Mindanao. In the 6th IAD AOR, the resumption of focused military operations was began last 14 November, the early morning of 14 November, when most news already reported that we had early morning airstrikes and artillery bombardment of certain held areas by groups of BIFF personalities. The target of the focused military operation that was resumed on that date were the groups of Turaype and Bungos. And as of now, we are still continuing these focused military operations as our proactive measure to address whatever threats these groups pose on the areas of Maguindanao and Cotabato. In the Basulta AOR, the recent abduction of 6 locals indicate that the ASG in the area is already facing dire needs, and hence are targeting so many local individuals that have not been in their list previously. We assume that these are perhaps part of their ploy to perhaps take out some of our focused military operations in certain parts of Sulu and divert our attention. We are addressing the rescue for the 6 locals. Some of our troops have been diverted, but we will not lose focus on the main objective of our continuing operations in the island of Sulu, which is to degrade and address the threat that is still posed by the remaining groups of the ASG in that island. The Joint Task Force Sulu under Brigadier General Silito Sobihana, as well as the 6th Infantry Division under Major General Arnel de la Vega, are all proactively engaging all of the respective assigned targets in order for us to comply with our continuing objective of continuously addressing and providing for a more secure environment for the island of Mindanao. All of these are under the direction of the Commander of Western Mindanao, Lieutenant General Charlie Galvez, based in Zamboanga. In other parts of Mindanao, the implementation of martial law continues with the maintenance of checkpoints in key areas to address any possible movements of private armed groups, armed elements, lawless individuals, and other threats to the security and peace that we have. For the security situation in other parts of the country, the recent arrest of 3 ASG members here in Metro Manila and have been presented now by the Philippine National Police indicate the combined government's effort of proactively addressing whatever threats there are of terrorists who may want to destroy the peace. And we will continuously work together, united, in the objective of ensuring that our cities remain safe for the rest of the year, not only for the period that we have been given for the implementation of martial law, but always 24/7. We would also like to pass on our thanks to the following officials who visited our troops and our local residents in the areas of Marawi. Yesterday, we were fortunate to have the visits of Mayor Sara of Davao and Mayor Lani of Taguig, who visited our IDPs in Marawi, as well as brushed elbows with some of our battle area where 9 Maute members were reportedly killed. This has been the last, and that is why recently there has been an announcement that we no longer sense or monitor any sign of life in the last main battle areas. But the clearing will continue. As of yesterday up to today, 16 more unexploded ordnance were found and addressed by our combined teams of explosive ordnance disposal experts. And we will continue to do this until we are fully convinced that all the IEDs, all the traps, all the unexploded ordnance that may remain in the area have been found and addressed. This is to preclude any kind of hazard that may be faced by our civilians once we have opened up the area for the return. On other clearing operations, we would like to add that we recovered 2 more high-powered firearms in the lake area, where we recovered 30 high-powered firearms recently. And our road to normalcy as we do this clearing and security operations is bearing fruit. As you may have known, we have opened 9 barangays for the return of our residents there, following the protocol that was established by the local government. We are also working on the clearing of 10 more barangays next week, and we will turn this over to the local government and to Joint Task Force Bangon Marawi once we have done our part. There are 36 more that will need to be cleared, 24 barangays of which are located in the main battle area that we have not opened up for the return of residents. Out of the 96, or total 96 barangays of the city, 41 were unaffected, and the 36 that we have yet to clear will be the subject of continuing clearing operations until such time that we are convinced that this can be opened safely to returning residents. The road to normalcy is on its way, and we are very fortunate that our engagements with the local government as well as with the interagency task force is bearing very good fruits. These are all I have for you, but before I end, the Armed Forces leadership would like to publicly announce its congratulations to one of our top Army shooters who won the first gold medal for the Armed Forces team that is now competing in Singapore at the ASEAN Rifle Meet. The name is Staff Sergeant Angelo Bonagua, who won the gold medal for the carbine category, defeating marksmen he was competing with coming from the Armed Forces of Indonesia and Malaysia. This is all I have, and thank you very much.
Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Here are the updates from your Task Force Bangon Marawi. In its first regional interagency meeting after the issuance of Administrative Order Number 9, and this was held on 09 November 2017, Task Force Bangon Marawi discussed with its subcommittees the updates and issues to be addressed in the recovery, reconstruction, and rehabilitation of Marawi City and other affected localities. Task Force Bangon Marawi Chairperson, Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario, chaired the meeting at the Task Force Field Office in Iligan City. He presented the organizational structure of the task force based on Administrative Order Number 9. Updates on the part of the Housing, Reconstruction, Business and Livelihood, Health and Social Services subcommittees, as well as the Information Management and Strategic Communication Support Group, were presented by the concerned agency leads and members. Further, ways forward to fast-track the implementation of plans and strengthen the ongoing programs, activities, and projects of the various task force member agencies, as well as local government units concerned, were also presented. The security sector, together with the Marawi City LGU, met on 11 November to discuss the security protocols and mechanisms on the issuance of vehicle passes with a list of passengers, as well as concerns on security of the IDPs during the Kambalingan. Entry and mobility of individuals and groups in Marawi City are continuously being monitored and checked by the security sector. The 7th Maranao Leaders Forum was conducted by TESDA in partnership with Mindanao Development Authority and the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Overseas Filipino Workers and Muslim Concerns last 12 November. The consultation focused on the presentation of the proposed conceptual framework on the Marawi Rebuilding Plan, which was drafted based from the previous consultations with Maranao leaders. Maranao traditional and religious leaders attended the forum and provided inputs as well. The post-conflict needs assessment in the remaining barangays in Marawi City shall commence soon. given the AFP's recent declaration of additional cleared barangays. The task force target deployment to continue with the damage and losses assessment is on 27 November. And in fact, our PCNA teams will arrive on November 24. They will have a security briefing on November 26, and they will be deployed in the next 23 barangays on November 27. On the other hand, while waiting for the completion of the PCNA and the Marawi Comprehensive Rehabilitation and Recovery Plan, or the CRRP, short-term interventions will continue in support of the early recovery needs of the affected population. Task Force Bangon Marawi shall continue to address the needs and concerns of the IDPs as well as the returning residents in Marawi City. For inquiries and concerns related to the IDP return or kambalingan in Marawi City, shown are the hotline numbers. Also, the contact numbers of the task force field office are as shown. With the conclusion of the Philippines chairmanship and hosting of the 31st ASEAN Summit and related summit, various world leaders have committed to assist in the rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery of Marawi City and other affected areas. Aside from the 1.5 billion yen pledge from Japan for the maritime safety and reconstruction of Marawi, the Japanese government also committed to donate rice to the affected population. The government of Australia, which initially provided assistance through funding relief items, announced the delivery of relief supplies amounting to 1.5 million Australian dollars. China has pledged an additional 1.15 billion pesos in grants aside from the initial 47 heavy equipment previously donated to the DPWH. The United States also pledged 14.3 million US dollars to address humanitarian concerns and the rehabilitation of Marawi City. The city government of Davao, through Mayor Inday Sara Duterte, as well as the city government of Taguig, through Mayor Lani Cayetano, provided assistance to the city government of Marawi in the amount of 5 million pesos each, or a total amount of 10 million pesos. This assistance was given directly to the LGU of Marawi City. That's all for the updates.
MPC questions? MPC, no more questions? Okay, sir.
This just came in fresh from our updates from Marawi. The updates, by the way, are provided by the Joint Task Force Marawi under the leadership of Brigadier General, soon-to-be Major General Roseler Murillo, and Colonel Romeo Browner, who is the deputy of Joint Task Force Marawi. They indicated that they have also recovered a number of high-powered firearms in a recent operation that they did. And recovered were 2 M60 machine guns, 3 M16 rifles, and 2 M203 grenade launchers that were reported by sources from the area, civilian sources who have been helping our troops to address armed groups supporting the local terrorist groups. This was buried in somewhere in Barangay Torogan, in Maging, Lanao del Sur. And this was successfully conducted when we deployed 2 platoons coming from the 65th Infantry Battalion. And this kind of operations will continue until we address and arrest the proliferation of loose firearms that are in the area that may be source of potential threats. May I also include that in the report, the conduct of psychosocial interventions continues up to this date. And most of those that are being addressed are the vulnerable, particularly children. In a recent engagement with the Teach Peace Build Foundation, we were able to conduct so many sessions for children in Barangay Bubong Evacuation Center in Sagyaran, Lanao del Sur. These activities will continue, and we see this as beneficial, particularly to the vulnerable, who are the children and women and elderly. Thank you.
MPC question? Tina Mendez, Philippine Star.
Good morning, sir. General Padilla, barely 1 month before the December 31 deadline for the implementation of martial law, how is your assessment of the situation right now?
The situation continues to normalize for the area of Marawi. We have left enough forces to safeguard its security and to expedite its return to normalcy, as well as the return of IDPs or civilians to their residence. As I mentioned, of the 96 barangays, 41 were relatively unaffected during the conflict. That's why it was open for the return of these residents. Of the affected, 9 have been cleared for return and 10 more for next week. And of the remaining 36, 24 of which are in the MBA area, we will work on this continuously. So at the rate we are progressing, we are positive that we will be able to at least hand over the majority of the affected areas to those residents who would wish to come back. But we will have to work closely with the local government kasi sila naman po yung may final say dyan dahil may ginawa na po tayong patakaran na kinakailangan masuri at ma-check muna ang pagkatao ng mga nagsasabing tiga doon para nang sa ganon sigurado tayo na sila ay talagang taga Marawi mismo. Bukod dito, sa kabuuan ng Mindanao, ang pagpapatuloy po ng martial law ay nakakatulong at ito po yung ating mga sinusunod na mga patakaran lalo na sa pagsasagawa ng checkpoint, pag-check ng mga maaring pagsuspetsahan nating tumutulong sa network nitong mga terorista. Ang ating pong ina-address particularly ay yung aking nabanggit na kaninang ako yung nagbigay ng update, yung lugar po ng Maguindanao at Cotabato na kung saan may mga puwersa po ang BIFF sa ilalim ni Turaypi at saka ni Bungos. Ganun din po ang Basulta area, Basilan, Sulu at Tawi-Tawi.
So do we see the lifting of martial law by year end?
We're working towards that. We're hoping to be able to address and normalize everything by the end of the year because that was the deadline given to us. But be that as it may, the network of the local terrorist groups still continue, and this is the subject of our efforts. So if we are able to address that by the whole month, the remaining days of November, as well as the whole month of December, then we will report that to you and give justification for the lifting of martial law. If not, we will have to request an extension to be able to address the remaining threats in the area.
Okay, Tuesday New.
To Asik Toby, sir. Sir, by now po, may mga natitira pa ba na mga IDP sa mga evacuation center sa Iligan or Cagayan de Oro and other parts? O na ipauwi na po sila?
Meron pa. Meron pa tayong
Do we have figures,
IDPs on sa evacuation centers at pati yung home base. No? Our figures are still the same. We're using this the figure of 77,000 families and 353,000 individuals. No? Ito ay both home-based at nasa evacuation centers. At lahat to ay patuloy natin binibigyan ng relief interventions through DSWD.
Okay, thank General Padilla, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yung mga operations, sir, sa ibang lugar, aside from Marawi, sa ngayon, BIFF and ASG, yan po ba yung rason kung bakit hindi pa natin mairekomenda na mailift na yung martial law?
Bahagi po yan ng mga bagay na aming tinutugunan, lalo na sa pagkakaroon ng martial law. Yung pangunahin is yung network at yung mga naiiwang banta na nanggagaling sa malalaking grupo na may kakayahan na maglunsad ng magkaroon ng malakihang puwersa at maglunsad ng malakihang pagsalakay. So, yun yung mga tinutugunan natin.
Yung nabanggit nyo po kanina, wala na kayong nakikitang senyales na may buhay pa na mga maute sa main battle area?
Mismo sa Marawi po.
Opo, mismong sa Marawi. Yung huli po ba, yun na yung nakuha natin lahat? All accounted for na po, yung hinahanap nating mga maute?
Yung mga personalidad po na tinatarget natin, sa amin pong pagkakaalam ay nakuha na natin. At ito po yung kahuli-hulihang naging kaganapan dyan na may bakbakan ay noong 5 ng Nobyembre na kung saan siyam ang napatay nating mga maute na ayaw magsisuko. So, kasama na rin po dyan sa ating paniniwala yung labi ng isang kinikilalang Malaysian bomber na si Baku.
Okay.
Yung mga bodies po nila, na-recovered po ba?
Recovered po lahat yon. At ang ating pong forensic teams na nasa lugar ay nagsagawa po ng kanilang pag-record at profile ng mga labi na ito at nasa sa atin po ang kanilang mga DNA sample at patuloy po nating naantay yung magiging resulta nito.
Thank you po.
Okay. Pia Gutierrez?
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, can we get your reaction
as a request for comment earlier while they were doing the report. But we informed them that this needs to be relayed officially through our government, and we requested them to convey this to the Department of Foreign Affairs or the permanent mission we have in New York or the United Nations, where AI, I think, is based. Up to this time, we have not received it yet, and perhaps it's still in the loop. But we have told them that we are committed to respecting international humanitarian law and respecting human rights. And even the Chief of Staff has reiterated his strict instructions that, and I quote, the General Leonardo Guerrero, when he gave his guidance to all our troops that he will not tolerate nor condone misdeeds of our soldiers to include violations of IHL and human rights. We will investigate and discipline those found guilty of violating policies and regulations, which includes IHL and HR. So that's part of his instruction, and even the former Chief of Staff, General Año, at the very beginning of the conflict in Marawi, has made it part of his strict instructions to abide by all that we have been taught to respect, which is the rules of conflict, including IHL and human rights. Now, the Amnesty International report is something that we will answer once we get it officially. Be that as it may, our Chief of Staff has also mentioned, and I quote him, that our actions in the Marawi conflict were guided by the rules of conflict, which provides for the necessity and proportionality in the use of force, end of quote. That is what the Chief of Staff has mentioned. Because as part of the AI, we understand that they also questioned the manner by which we employed bombings to address threats in the area. May I just highlight that the armed forces addressed so many challenges in the main battle area during the conflict. And may I highlight that there were 1,780 civilians who were rescued by our efforts. And the proportionality by which we use force was in consideration of all the challenges that we face, which is one, the safety of the civilians who may be trapped in the area. That's primordial. The rescue of the civilians who were held hostage, second. And only third is the safety of our own troops who were in the main battle area addressing these armed groups. So, parang minumulto po tayo. Meron lumalabas.
Pakiusap lang yung mga tao sa
nais ko
likod.
lang pong ipaalala sa lahat na karamihan po ng inilahad at nilabas po ng report na ito ay sa kasalukuyan ay allegations. At nakita naman po ninyo ang commitment o focus ng ating kasundaluhan, pati ng ating armed forces, upang itaguyod lahat ng karapatang pantao sa lugar na yon at sa kabuuan ng Mindanao habang tinutupad natin yung implementasyon ng martial law. Bukod po dito, paulit-ulit po nating sinasabi na ang ating pong mga tauhan ay matagal na po na binabad na respetuhin at sundin ang lahat ng mga alituntunin, lalo na sa international humanitarian law at saka sa laws of conflict. Kung meron man po tayong mga naging insidente dyan, masasabi po natin na ito'y mga isolated incidents. Yung sa issue ng looting, sinagot na po natin yan ng matagal na. Madami na po tayong naibigay na pahayag at siguro po hindi ko na po babanggitin pa yon dahil maaring ganap na sapat na yon. Yung sa issue naman ng respeto sa mga nahuli na maaring pinagsususpetsahan na kalaban, tulad po ng nabanggit natin nung lumabas yung isang video na inilabas ng isang network na nakuha sa loob ng battlefield, yun po ay kuha mismo ng ating sundalo na maaring lumabas sa social media. At nakikita naman po natin doon na marami rin po sa mga kasundaluhan na naging parte ng video na yon ang siyang pumipigil at siyang nagpapaalala sa kanilang mga kasamahan. Kaya nga po na ialis ng maayos yung individual na naarestong yon doon sa lugar kung saan siya ay maaring nababatukan o nasisipa ng mga ibang sundalo. And emotions were high. Yung mga emosyon po ng ating kasundaluhan noon sa mga pagkakataong yon, tandaan po natin, 166 na po ang ating mga kasundaluhang nagbuwis ng buhay dahil may isa po tayong sugatan na pumanaw kamakailan. Sa 166 po na buhay, ang siyang naisakripisyo natin upang maisalba po natin ang Marawi sa kamay ng mga teroristang ito. At tulad ng aking nabanggit, ang ating pong talagang pinagpuntiryahan ng lahat ng ating effort, lahat ng ating makakaya ay ma-rescue lahat ng hostages. At sa bilang na aming nahahawakan sa kasalukuyan, hindi po biro yung 1,780 na na-rescue yung mga civilian dahil yan po yung talagang naging pangunahing misyon ng ating po mga kasundaluhan na gawin. So, I think I'll leave it at that. The report, as I mentioned, will have to be coursed through the official channels before we can do an official reply. But our commitment to the respect of human rights and the abidance by international humanitarian law cannot be overemphasized by the accomplishments of our troops in the Marawi siege.
Sir, can we just get updates dun sa mga investigasyon na isinagawa ng military? Because this is not the first time that these issues have been brought up.
Yes.
And you said that there have been investigations. So ano na pong updates doon?
Yung sa looting po, yung sa isang opisyal at 5 sundalo, nagpapatuloy po yan. Hindi ko masyadong komplikado ito dahil hindi naman po pera at hindi naman po alahas yung nakita, kung hindi mga appliances. At hindi pa po natin batid yung naging resulta nito at hihingin ko po kung meron man. Yung sa issue naman po ng ibang mga abuses, allegations po ito eh. Nag-aantay po kami ng formal na ihain na reklamo na maaaring may basihan. So sa aming hanay, wala po kaming nakikita at wala po nare-report ang ating mga leaders. Kung ano man po ito, if these are allegations, they will remain to be allegations unless there are concrete and formal reports that come our way and we will act on it.
So tama sir, wala pa pong civilian na nagko-come forward para mag-file ng formal complaint sa
Wala pa
military?
po kaming nakukuha ang formal complaint. So that's why in the initial months of the battle, I think in the second month, there was a group that came out that said, I think they were alluding to sexual insinuations of rape. When we asked them, where's the complaint? Sino po yung mga tao na sinasabi nyo na nagsabi nito? Wala naman pong naibigay. Ready po kaming aksyonan kaagad yan kung sakasakaling may lalatag na formal na at ihahain na formal na complaint. Hindi po kami tumatakas sa aming responsibilidad, accountable po tayo, ganun din po ang bawat sundalo. At tulad nga po ng aking nabasa dito sa pahayag ng ating Chief of Staff, si General si General Guerrero, at mismo yung mga pahayag po ni General Anyo nung nakaraang mga buwan, pare-pareho po yan. Consistent po. Pati na po yung binigay na commitment ni General Guerrero ngayon. At kung aking uulitin, ay hindi po naiiba dun sa mga dati nating pahayag. So, he says that we will not tolerate nor condone any misdeeds and we will act on it.
Pero sir, these are very disturbing allegations on human rights violations. Bakit po, I'm sure the military could have made their own effort po na lapitan.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Yes, we did. these are disturbing. Any reports of human rights violations are disturbing, and they're very serious. So we take them with focus and seriousness as well. Kaya nga nung lumabas po itong sexual insinuation ng mga unang buwan ng bakbakan, inaksyonan po natin yan at inalam po natin kung sino-sino ito. Dahil hindi naman din po namin alam kung sino eh. So kami nag-conduct na investigation dahil walang maibigay na pangalan, dahil hindi rin po naisabi sa amin kung anong itsura ng tao at pati yung patches hindi naman na-describe. So nagbigay po kami ng isang malawakang abiso. We issued out an advisory to all our commanders to remind all our troops of their obligations pertaining to the rules of conflict, respect for human rights, and international humanitarian law. And that's what we have been doing consistently. Patuloy po itong mga ating binibigay na paalala sa ating mga units tungkol po sa mga bagay na ito. At sa kasalukuyan, wala naman po tayong nakuhang mga iba pang formal na complaint. Yung sa video na lumabas, I think na-address na rin natin yan at patuloy naging investigation para ma-identify kung sino-sino po yung mga ilan na yun.
Last question na lang, sir. The report also brought up yung widespread devastation because of military airstrikes.
Yes,
And you've
yes.
already answered that the use of airstrikes is very necessary in the operations. Pero sir, follow-up question lang, if the AFP already said in August that there were only 40 Mountie fighters remaining back then, why were widespread aerial airstrikes necessary during that time?
Well, the information that we had at that time was based on what we had. So as we have clearly explained in previous press conferences, na ipahayag natin na naging laganap ang aming pagkaunawa sa bilang ng mga kinalaban natin dyan nung nakakuha tayo ng mga impormasyon na nagbigay tibay dun sa mga bilang na lumabas ngayon. So ito yung mga nakuha natin ng mga USB, telepono, mga digital cameras, mga photos na nakuha natin na nagturo sa pagkakaroon ng isang malaganap at malawakang hakbang upang magkaroon ng ganitong kaguluhan sa Marawi. So we were able to ascertain and validate that there were bigger numbers of enemy in the area because of all this information that we were able to obtain.
Okay, thank you.
Salamat, sir.
Thank you.
Last three questions, Sheila, then Laila, last Alvin Baltasar.
Sir, good morning, General Padilla.
Yes.
Sir, going back lang doon sa clearing operations, I understand that the troops move carefully and slowly dahil
Tama.
po dun sa mga traps and
IED.
bombs na meron pa doon sa area. But at least do you have a target as to when to clear this the 36 barangay that you mentioned?
Nagpapatuloy po yung clearing at yung atin naman pong mga tao na involved dyan, dinagdagan na rin natin. There were some of them who were pulled out because they needed to perform duties during the ASEAN Summit. So, nagsisibalikan na po uli sila doon at habang ginagawa po natin ito, mas lumalawak pa yung pag-clear. So, sinisigurado lang natin na bawat sulok, bawat lugar ay ganap na clear sa anumang patibong, anumang IED, o anumang mga hindi sumabog na bomba.
Sir, target po, meron po ba at least by the
Hindi
end
po
of the
tayo nagbibigay ng target sa kasalukuyan dahil yung iba pong building dyan may mga basements at may mga malalalim na mga lagusan. So hindi po namin basta-basta pinapasok hanggang hindi po natin ganap na na-clear ito. So yun po yung mga nagiging challenges.
Okay, thank you. Laila?
For ASEC Purisima, sir, yung mga recently pledged aid grants from foreign countries, will this be subjected to the same review that you've conducted on earlier pledges to determine if they have conditions that will, allow them to interfere in our affairs because as part of the President's new policy?
Yes, kasama yan because the task force will be the clearinghouse for all these donations. So we will make sure that once these pledges or these donations are officially communicated or facilitated to us directly to the task force or perhaps through the DFA, that we will do proper action on this, proper staff work to make sure na kung paano tatanggapin itong mga donations na to because some of them are in the form of grants, some of them are in the form of or in-kind donations, so to say. So, depende yan. And the task force is prepared, the Finance and Resource Mobilization Support Group will be in charge of this.
Sir, pati yung in-kind,
Yes, pati in kind, like previously yung China, di ba, the Chinese government donated 47 heavy equipment, no? So this was also cleared through the task force and it's now with the DPWH because we emphasize this is a whole of government effort, no? So whatever donations are communicated through specific agencies, there's a standing directive on the part of the task force that these should be cleared first with the task force. So kahit dumiretso yung certain government, certain organization, or certain private sector group, dumiretso sila sa isang agency or sa isang local government unit, sasabihin dapat yan sa task force because the task force is the accountable agency, is the accountable organization. And we want to make sure that we know everything that comes in para properly accounted ito at masasabi natin sa taong bayan na dito napunta yung mga binigay ng ating mga kaibigan.
Okay, last question, Alvin Baltasar.
Magandang umaga, General Padilla. Sir,
Magandang umaga, Alvin.
With those allegations against the military, sir, naniniwala ba kayo na target pa rin kayo ng black propaganda? At kung sakasakali man, kanino kaya nanggagaling ito, sir?
Maraming salamat at tinanong nyo ito. Yes, ramdam po namin na may effort po siguro na ginagawa upang ma-discredit po yung ating hukbong sandatahan. Pero yung ating armed forces naman ho ay nananatiling hindi matitinag po sa posisyon nito na maayos po kaming tumupad sa aming tungkulin sa paglutas sa suliraning hinarap natin sa Marawi. At itong panatag na kalooban nito ay bunga ng dedikasyon, ng focus, at nakita niyong sakripisyo ng bawat sundalo na nanggaling po sa Marawi. Kaya nga po, kami nagpapasalamat dahil batid dito ng taong bayan. Kinikilala ho itong mga efforts at mga sakripisyong ito. At lalo na po yung ating mga kababayan dyan sa Marawi. Noong una, pinaghinalaan po tayo, pero ngayon, buo po ang loob namin na ang lahat ng ating mga kapatid na mga Maranao ay ganap na naintindihan itong mga ginawa po nating hakbang.
Sir, kanino kaya nanggagaling yung black propaganda?
Hindi ko po masabi kasi wala po tayong basihan pa. Pero sana naman po kung ito man ay nanggagaling sa ating mga ilang mga kababayan na hindi natutuwa sa ating paggalaw na ito, sana naman po respetuhin nila yung memorya at yung sakripisyo ng mga nagbuwis ng buhay.
Maraming salamat, General
Okay, thank you,
Padilla.
Alvin. Sec Purisima?
I'd just like to add a few more activities for the coming week. No? So, subject to the results of today's mapping conducted by the LGU of Marawi City, we're targeting the return, kambalingan of our IDPs in approximately 8 barangays beginning tomorrow. No? So, tomorrow we're targeting 3 barangays. On Sunday, November 19, 3 barangays, and on Monday, November 20, 2 barangays. No? So, a total of 8 so far, subject to the mapping conducted by the LGU of Marawi today. No? And also on Monday, November 20, there will be an all-agencies meeting of the task force in Camp Aguinaldo, which will be presided by the chairperson, Secretary Del Rosario. And on November 22, there will be a stakeholders consultation in Iligan, together with the local leaders, with the ulama, and with the other stakeholders. So that will be the activities of the task force this coming week.
Okay, sir, sorry. Last question. Chona, you?
Sir, kay ASEC Purisima, sir, quick follow-up lang dun kay Laila. Mayroon na bang foreign aid na nireject ang task force because of setting some conditions?
Officially, ang alam ko, wala pang official pronouncement on the rejection. No? But let us be clear that the task force is aware of the policy pronouncements of our president and we will follow those policy pronouncements.
Okay, thank you, Chona. Sorry, sir.
Sige.
Doon lang po sa target IDP sa 8 barangays na makabalik, ilang residente po yun?
We have no figures yet because the barangays, it depends on the mapping. So, i-identify pa lang natin kung ano itong mga barangays na ito.
Okay, thank you, Rose.
May I just add that another guidance from the current Chief of Staff, General Leonardo Guerrero, is to ensure that we are able to establish and observe the rule of law in all the areas that we hold. Kasi yun naman po talaga ang pakay ng ating pagkakaroon ng martial law. Ibalik po ang rule of law sa lahat ng lugar na ito. At yan din po yung mga bagay na ating sinisikap na magawa, lalo na po sa mga lugar na naging magulo na.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brigadier Major General Restituto Padilla. Please. ASEC James Purisima and Director General Harold Clavite and Malacañang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and PTV.